It's 4 p.m. and we're bringing you the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez. Some stories we're watching this Thursday, July 11. Vice President Sara Duterte is not attending President Bongbong Marcos's third State of the Nation address on July 22. She says she's appointing herself as, quote, the designated survivor. Duterte attended Marcos's first two SONAs, but not this one. The armed forces has expressed concern over the reported deployment of a Chinese naval carrier strike group in the Philippine Sea. The United States Naval Intelligence reported that China's Shandong carrier strike group is, quote, now operating in the Philippine Sea. And Senator Alan Peter Cayetano has apologized for his heated exchange with Senator Nancy Binay on July 3. That's during yesterday's hearing on the new Senate building's construction. Cayetano says the cost of the structure could soar to as much as 29 billion pesos. And joining us today, Ana Marie Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star and Storycon's resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas.
Good afternoon, Ami.
Hi, happy Thursday, Ronald and Patrick.
Yes, Ami, so what's on the front page layout of the Philippine Star for tomorrow?
Apart from yung nabanggit mo nga, pinag-uusapan of course yung designated survivor. Dagdagan ko lang yan, sabi ng SecGen ng House, they are still waiting for official word from Vice President Sara Duterte kung talaga hindi nga siya attend. Siguro hindi naniniwala sa mga video, no? Tapos, meron na raw mga natatanggap ang authorities na mga feelers, mga tips about the whereabouts, possible whereabouts of Apollo Kibuloy after offering yung 10 million bounty and dagdag ng Bureau of Immigration, they have no report daw of Kibuloy leaving the country. Kasi nga may kumakalat na nasa China na. Yan ang mga binabantayan natin ngayon. It's a rather slow day.
Going back to
Saka
the...
bukas, of course, the anniversary tomorrow of the arbitral award, yung ruling ng July 12, 2016.
Right. Okay,
Yan yung mga minomonitor natin.
going back to VP Sara Duterte, no, so it's no surprise, I guess, after she skipped the Palarong Pambansa opening in Cebu the other day.
Yes.
So she's not attending the SONA. So it's beyond yung usual na it's complicated na sinasabi ng Presidente, yung relasyon nila ngayon.
Hindi rin siya nakakagulat after nung mga bilanggit ng kanyang kapatid, si Mayor Baste Duterte, na ang sabi niya, ang threat niya kay BBM ay baka mangyari sa kanya yung sa Romanov at saka doon sa Mussolini. Kaya parang nagpapatuloy yung narrative na ganyan.
Pero Ronald, I mean, you know, that's probably more like a hyperbole or an exaggerated threat coming from
Well, kung wala
Mayor Baste.
Kung wala yung sinasabi ni AFP Chief of Staff Browner na mga destabilization threat, baka pwedeng tignan as a joke. Pero dahil may mga destabilization threat as early as last year at binanggit din yan ni Digong nung January 28 rally, medyo sineseryoso ng gobyerno.
Ito naman siguro sinasabi niyang designated survivor, biro lang din.
Posible. No? Posible. Dahil gano'n naman yung mga Duterte. No?
Ganun magbiro.
Pag may sasabihin silang may ipapapatay, tapos pag kinall out, sasabihin nila ay yun ay biro. Okay lang sana, pero parang marami yung patay eh. kaya baka hindi nagmumukhang biro.
Well, for the record though, there's no such thing as designated survivor in the Philippines.
Wala.
Although, well, she is vice president, so she's in the line of succession. Pero itong sistema ng designated survivor, pagkalam ko, wala tayo nito. Sa Amerika lang to.
That was proposed by
Sa
Sing
US
Lacson before. Pero binawi ng
Kaya
House.
medyo yung mga nakakaalam ng implication yan in the US, at medyo madudumi ang alam mo naman dito sa lugar natin, marami suspicioso eh.
Yeah.
Bakit daw yun ang ginamit na na description, designated survivor? Meron daw bang mga magiging non-survivors?
Well,
Yan yung
I think
mga
ang reference si VP Sara Duterte dito ay yung Netflix series na Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland binomba yung buong yung
Yes.
US Capitol Hill during the SONA of the US President.
Yes.
Ubus lahat.
Ubus.
No? Ubus lahat. Nagkataon
Kaya nga.
itong character ni Kiefer Sutherland. who I think was
Secretary for Housing,
Secretary for Housing, very minor role, no? Parang
na magre-resign na sana.
na magre-resign siya, di ba? Parang hindi siya gusto naman presidente ata or something like that. He didn't attend the Capitol hearing SONA, and so he survived.
Yes.
And he was thrust into the Oval Office,
Yes,
the presidente. So yun yung plot niyan.
Yun yung plot.
Pinasabog yung US Capitol Hill during SONA.
At
Yan.
ang problema kasi, Ami, the vice presidency is literally as well as figuratively a heartbeat away from the president.
Yes.
Kaya yung ganyan mga joke ay
Oo nga.
medyo nagiging seryoso. Actually, may mga ilang congressman
Yes.
na nag-call out. May mga ilang congressman na
Yes.
nag-call out dyan sa semi-joke na yan.
Okay.
Yan ang nga sinasabi ko, may implication siya, di ba? Medyo considering the political environment, napakainit na nga, yon yung sinasabi ng iba, bakit yun ang ginamit na description? Kaya siguro, baka may makita tayong tighter security measures no surrounding the SONA.
Yes.
Kasi yung initial na report ng mga authorities, wala naman daw security threats eh. Pero
Pero-
ngayon, tignan natin kung ano ang mangyayari, kung how they will react.
Parang nag-scale up in terms of security precautions.
Yeah.
Yun lang yung balita ko.
What we're hearing, Ami, I don't know if you're getting the same report from
Yes.
your congressional reporter or House reporter. What we're hearing is that medyo tight yung SONA security
Ngayon.
this July 22. For one thing, wala na raw yung usual red carpet
Red
na nakabang
carpet.
yung mga camera at mga reporter nag-ambush doon sa red carpet ng mga papasok ng mga politicians. Kasama yung mga misis nila na nakaterno o nakalong
Pan yun. Parang fashion show yun.
wala na raw yung ganun. So they are taking precautions. I don't know if it's in reaction to what the Vice President has said or...
Yan ang hindi natin alam. Saka sabi pa nila, this is the biggest attendance daw for all the SONA. More than 2,000 yata yun.
Maraming
Na
international guests.
nag-confirm na.
Maraming international
Yes.
guests ngayon.
So,
Yes.
On a different note, Ami, kasama ba kayo dun sa tinreten ni ex-human rights lawyer, Harry Roque, na mag-ayos ng mga report, no?
Oo, kasama
kung hindi,
kami.
ay kakasuhan.
Although yung ginamit namin sa print edition is assisting lang. Hindi, kaya nga yan ang pinag-uusapan natin kahapon, di ba? Tinatanong
right.
ko, ginamit ba yung salitang lobbying? Kasi yun yung kanyang issue doon eh. Di siya naglalobby.
Yes,
Kaya nga tinatanong ko, so we did not choose that word in our newspaper. Hindi namin ginamit yun.
apparently he has two issues. One is the, like you said, the use of the word lobbying. The other is that illegal pogo. Because at the time that he lobbied,
Hindi nga.
interceded, o nakiusap
It was
para sa
not yet
Lucky
illegal.
99,
Illegal
hindi
pa
pa
raw.
siya illegal. So yun yung 2 points na sinasabi niya.
Pero sabi ko nga kahapon, Ami, kahit siya ay registered POGO, meron pa rin siyang torture chamber.
Yun. And I think you made
Pero
that,
hindi nga
you
yun
made
alam
that
ni Harry
observation
Roque.
as early as yesterday.
Oo, iba yun eh. Iba yun eh. Kasi pati si Pagcor sinabi, naging illegal lang yan nung hindi nila binigay yung lisensya.
Exactly.
Which was, I think, around August pa eh.
But I imagine,
Tapos na yung meeting nila.
The human trafficking,
Based on what-
the money laundering, the criminal activities ay nagpapatuloy kahit meron siyang registration.
Yes. Oh, parang,
Pero ngayon lang niya nalaman.
Oo.
Ngayon lang siya nalaman. eh.
Yes.
When he was representing the company, the Whirlwind lang daw, one of the providers of the POGO actually, not the POGO. Isa pa yung nililinaw niya. He
Meron
was
pa-
representing a provider.
Ano ba yung lumabas sa amin na meron silang joint account? Meron mga ganun na huling mga dokumento? Mga bank?
Hindi ko
Parang may lumabas na ganun
malilinawan yun.
May mga bank na papers na parang sinasabi na
It
meron.
was discovered there. But before we dive deeper into into this whole Harry Roque and the Porac Pogo matter, no, we have with us our resource, Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad. He is joining us to tell us about the sighting of a Chinese carrier group in the Philippine Sea. Admiral?
Good afternoon, Admiral.
Good afternoon. Magandang
Good
hapon,
afternoon,
Ronald.
Admiral.
Magandang hapon, Patrick. And magandang hapon, Ami. Magandang hapon din sa mga taga-subaybay ninyo.
Okay, Admiral, should we be alarmed? Dapat bang ikabahala natin na yun, gumigilid o dumadaan itong Chinese carrier group na to sa bahagi ng Philippine Sea?
Hindi naman tayo dapat ma-alarma dito. But we are just, concerned. And we monitor them sapagkat hindi naman tayo lang ang objective ng mga to. This is part of their preparation to operationalize their aircraft carrier. So, natural lamang na dadaan ito sa kapaligiran natin.
Admiral, ito bang Shandong Carrier Strike Group, itong aircraft carrier na ito ba yung refurbished na Ukrainian aircraft carrier o ito yung first aircraft carrier na ginawa sa China mismo?
Ito yung, I think ito yung second na ginawa sa China. First or the second. Yung refurbished, ito yung pinakauna.
Yes.
Yung binili nito yung Ukraine.
So hindi pa to
Oo.
So hindi pa to tested, Admiral. Pwedeng yung kanyang pagpapalaot ay bahagi ng kanyang pag-test.
Hindi, totoo naman yan eh.
Yeah.
Kasi alam mo naman eh, to fully operationalize an aircraft carrier will take years. Yung pag-launch pa lang at pag-recover ng aircraft, malaking trabaho yan. Expertise ang kailangan dyan.
Pero di ba,
Admiral,
Admiral,
so we can describe the passage of the carrier group as innocent passage. Yun ba yung description nyo? Innocent passage lang yan through Philippine waters?
Hindi naman, kasi dumaan siya sa Philippine Sea, Eastern Seaboard natin yan, Pacific side, pero labas ng ating EEZ. Nasa mga 230 nautical miles.
Okay, so
Kaya nga,
to
innocent
clarify
passage
lang,
siya.
no?
Walang violation naman.
Hindi siya innocent passage, hindi rin siya freedom of navigation, wala siyang violation, kasi labas naman ng ating EEZ.
Yeah, so that's clear, Admiral, that it's not within Philippine waters. We just have to correct the
Not within Philippine
lower
waters.
screen graphics
Yes.
on our screen. Yeah. But at the same time, Admiral, is this the first time that a Chinese carrier group has sailed on the Philippine Sea, on this part of the waters?
dagdag, Admiral, sa tanong ni
Hindi
Patrick,
ito first time.
kasama ba ito dun sa kanilang first military exercises sa ating EEZ, itong Shandong Fighter Carrier Group?
Una sa lahat, Ronald, hindi ito first time na naglayag ang kanilang aircraft carriers. Pangalawa, they conduct numerous training exercises. Kasama doon yung nauna na na-report din yung kanilang aircraft carrier. Sapagkat if you would like to operationalize an aircraft carrier, ang US, for example, they have been operating this since World War II. Even before World War II.
Okay.
So, it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of, wag naman sana, lives. Sapagkat marami aksidente dito. Just to launch and recover an aircraft. Hindi ibig sabihin pag may aircraft carrier ay isang bansa, very smooth ang pag-operate niya. It will take decades to master an aircraft carrier and the launching and recovery of aircraft.
So marami pang, marami pang kakainin bigas tong carrier na ito. Kumbaga, parang ganun, Admiral,
Marami
ano?
pa.
So,
Marami pa. Yeah.
so given that, Admiral, you wouldn't, you wouldn't consider this as a potential threat or anything like that?
No, hindi siya threat. But we are monitoring them. Pangalawa, hindi na naman sa atin dumaan yan. Taiwan, dumaan sa Taiwan yan. Dumaan yan sa malapit sa Vietnam. So we monitor these developments in the region sapagkat apektado rin tayo.
Okay, so what's happening is really bagong carrier to, bagong gawang aircraft carrier na made in China. So what they're doing is they're just getting their feet wet, kumbaga. Nagpa-practice lang. Sailing.
Yes. Hindi pa natin alam kung fully operational ba ang kakayanan niya mag-launch and recover. Iba naman yung pag yung administrative na flight. Iba naman yung operational na mataas yung tempo.
Okay.
Admiral, ano bang rules dyan? Do they need to inform the Philippines o yung bansa na dinadaanan nila? Kailangan ba nila
Not
yun?
if they do it innocently. Innocent passage.
Oo nga.
so long as they will not do anything against the detriment of the safety and security of the coastal state. So bawal magpalipad na aeroplano. Pag ang carrier dumaan sa territorial waters, bawal magpalipad na aeroplano. Mag-launch and recover.
So itong
And there
hindi
are other provisions
nag-alert
also.
sa atin. Hindi po nag-alert sa atin
Ano po?
itong pagdaan nila.
Hindi nag-alert sapagkat hindi naman kailangan.
In relation na Admiral dun sa Commodore dun sa sinabi ni Ami, ito kasi nabalitaan ko itong Shandong Carrier Strike Group more than 2 weeks ago na papalapit sa atin. May kasama siyang mga several destroyers, frigates at saka support vessels. Bakit ngayon lang siya lumabas sa mga balita? Pero more than 2 weeks na sila lumalapit sa atin.
Yes, I believe nag-umpisa ito. Merong report, I think, from Taiwan or Japan na kasama niya isang Sobremeni class na warship ng Russia. So, doon naman ito nag-umpisa mga last week or a few days ago.
So it was accompanied by a Russian battleship. That's why medyo na-alarm yung ibang countries. Admiral, parang ganun po ba yun? Was this confirmed,
Actually,
Admiral?
ang una na alarma dyan was Japan. Japan ang una na alarma dyan.
So was this confirmed, Admiral, that they jointly sailed this carrier group and a Russian battleship?
In recent history, I would say yes. Pero dati lang may ugnayan ang China and ang Russia. If you notice yung mga statements nila about the Ukraine war, supported naman ang dalawang ito eh.
The other thing, Admiral, nonetheless, it's not a threat. You're monitoring it, but nonetheless, this is the Chinese Navy scaling up, right? That's the
Yes.
context here.
Yes, the Chinese Navy is scaling up. This started in the early 1990s when they built up the naval power. So until now, they are still, mastering naval warfare.
How far away are they from achieving parity with the United States Navy? Yan na lang, Admiral.
In terms of numbers, nalampasan na nila.
Well, in terms of
damage,
capability, Admiral.
damage and capability, matagal pa to. Matagal pa. Pero kung pakinggan natin ang Chinese, ang mga bitaw nila, puro ito narratives na malakas sila, na sila ay may ganito. Which is actually part of their war-fighting doctrine.
Okay.
When you are strong, you show weakness. When you are weak, you project strength.
So what are they projecting here, Admiral? Strength.
They're projecting strength.
Because
Pero
their
alam
Navy
naman
is still
natin
weak.
na-
Parang ganon. Ganun po ba yun, Admiral? They're projecting strength, they're flexing because their Navy is still weak.
Yes, and they will show na malakas na sila. But again, yung system nila have never been tested in combat.
Admiral, sila ba ay lumapit dun sa kanilang mga artificial islands sa Fiery Cross at saka Subi Islands? Pumunta ba sila
Ito,
itong
hindi pa.
aircraft, itong Naval Carrier Strike Group na ito?
Hindi pa, itong Shandong, hindi pa. Ang na-monitor natin was yung ibang warship naman nila sa West Philippine Sea. Not the Shandong Battle Group.
Admiral, nabanggit nyo yung Japan, kapipirmahan lang ng bansa natin ni Japan of the Reciprocal Access Agreement. Ano bang impact nun sa Philippine Navy? Are you expecting a stronger cooperation Navy to Navy with Japan?
Yeah, una sa lahat, it is the first step of a long process. Which will have to
Yes.
undergo legislation from both countries. And we expect the
Yes.
signing probably of the full agreement by first quarter of next year. We welcome this move. This will allow the Philippine Navy and the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force to interact more closely. This will allow us to have troops in Japan, then to have troops in the Philippine soil. Ito yung magandang opportunity for us to learn.
Admiral, alam niyo ba kung anong klaseng mga fighter jets, aircrafts yung dala nitong Shandong Carrier Strike Group? Para rin malaman natin kung ito ay talagang basically defensive or may offensive capabilities.
Yung biyahe na ito I have to check kung anong dala niya. But ang generally naman, ang fighter aircraft nila, they have the J-20, yung pinaka-advanced nila, the J-11, the J-10. So, kung ano ang mga carrier variant sa mga ito, they could have brought the jets. They could have. I have to check kung dala nila.
Okay, maraming salamat.
Admiral, may iba lang akong meron kayong Navy na identity theft daw ng mga Chinese hackers yata, and she ended up being charged with tax evasion.
Yeah, si Lieutenant Mendoza, si Jessa. Ito
Oo.
naman naging biktima ito ng identity theft. Maganda naman ang kanyang service record. So the Navy is very supportive of her. At sinabi naman niya ang katotohanan sa Senate inquiry.
Pero na-confirm na Chinese yun, Chinese-related, yung nakabiktima sa kanya.
Yeah, kasi ang mga companies na 193, dalawa o tatlo doon ay kasama sa mga target list ng mga POGO.
Pati pa.
Oo.
Pogo. So ano ng status niya ngayon? Kasi pinailan siya ng kaso eh. Anong status niya with the Navy?
Ano naman? Okay naman siya. Hindi naman to fully supportive ang Navy sa kanya. Wala naman siyang kaso sa Navy sapagkat ito naman ay biktima. At maganda naman ang service record niya. So the Navy fully supports her.
Are you undertaking efforts to increase cybersecurity? Meron bang gano'n ng Navy rin? Kasi siyempre target din kayo ng mga ganyan eh.
Yes, actually it's the entire AFP. Kasama ito sa thrust ng ating armed forces when we modernize. One of the major thrusts actually of the SND, Secretary Sidoro, is to increase our capabilities sa cyber.
Okay,
Nasaan siya ngayon? Sige.
Anyway, Ami, yes, last
Yeah.
question, Ami.
Yun lang, at this point, nasa na ngayon yung level ng preparation ng mga cybersecurity? Philippine Navy lang.
I would say we have, ayoko naman sabihin na kami ang pinakamagaling, pero I would say that the Navy is at the forefront. Sapagkat maaga kami nag-umpisa mag-develop ng cyber capability. Pero nagtulong-tulungan naman ang Navy, Air Force, at Army on joint headquarters.
Okay?
Okay.
Admiral, maraming salamat sa oras nyo.
Salamat, Admiral.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Admiral.
maraming salamat, Ronald, Patrick, and Ami. And more power sa inyong palabas, Toricon.
Sa inyo rin,
Thank you.
Admiral. So that was Rear Admiral Roy Trinidad, spokesman of the Philippine Navy. So clarifications, this Chinese carrier group is outside Philippine EEZ. But still, no, it's a sign of China scaling up.
Ang
It's
medyo-
a China-made aircraft carrier.
Yes. At yung mga nag-scale up ay yung mga drones at saka aircraft na nasa ating EEZ. Yun, klaro yun. May mga drones at saka mga aircraft na nasa loob ng ating EEZ.
But like the Admiral also said, it takes years before a carrier
Yes.
group can actually be tested yung capability nito for any sort of operation.
Lalo na kung locally made.
Lalo na kung locally made. Yun.
Kaya
Yun.
tinatanong ko kanina kung locally made o ito yung
Kasi
Ukraine yan.
pag sinabi mo carrier group, hindi lang isang barko yan di ba Ronald? Marami yan
May several
Maraming kasama yan
destroyers, May several frigates,
Oh. So yung-
battleships.
yung-
Usually may submarine pa yan.
Yeah,
Oo.
yung coordination niya between
Yes.
all the ships, that's something that takes time to practice.
Yes, at
Yeah.
marami yung supply vessels, no? Marami supply. At kaya nga tinatanong ko, anong mga aircraft ang nandun?
Nandun, nakapunto. Oo. Yan, okay, you're watching.
Although pag tinanong nyo yung mga Chinese officials, sila mismo magsasabi, matagal pa nga daw sila
Matagal pa.
na makapag-operationalize ng aircraft carrier. Precisely because of the points nga you raised and which were raised by the Admiral. Kulang pa nga daw yung training, mahirap daw talaga mag-operate. Ina-acknowledge siya ng mga Chinese.
On the other hand, the United
Kaya-
States has had a lot of practice and experience
Marami sila, oo.
and more superior,
And
I guess,
actual
aircraft.
combat.
Pinakamodern nuclear powered aircraft carriers, no? Ang mga labing
Actual
pito, labing
combat
walo.
pati ang US eh.
Right.
Kaya ganon.
At saka they've had a lot of wars, so they've a lot of time to practice.
Tsaka
Yes.
they were the lone superpower for several decades.
Yeah. So yun
After
ang-
the collapse of the former Soviet Union.
Yes.
Who had a point, sana, before we went on break
Yes.
about this Chinese carrier group? Yes, Ronald, you were saying.
Yung sasabihin ko lang sana, Ami, ay yun yung isang dahilan kung bakit, at least in the immediate, ay walang interest ang China sa gera. Dahil alam naman nila, especially the People's Liberation Army and the Communist Party of
Yes.
China, alam nila na they are still a generation behind militarily
Yeah.
sa US and its allies. No? Kaya
Yes.
ito ay basically muscle flexing, ito ay saber rattling in relation halimbawa sa Taiwan at saka dito sa South China Sea. Pero kung sila ay seryosong pupunta sa gera, katulad nung sinasabi ng mga talking heads ng China dito sa ating bansa, ay malayo yon, no? Ang possibility lang na yun ay mangyari kung magkaroon ng aksidente. Halimbawa, may isang Navy, madaganan yung missile button, biglang may sumabog. Pero aside from that, no, China won't go to a war they cannot win. China won't go into a war which will destroy their economy. Huwag natin kalimutan yung strength ng Chinese economy is its globalized nature. Yung supply chain
Yes.
niya ay naka-integrate sa global economy.
Lalo na sa US economy.
US, Europe, even India, no? Halimbawa, pharmaceutical at saka IT ng India, integrated yung Chinese economy. Kahit meron sila mga tension sa borders. So, usually itong mga ganitong klaseng mga pormahan ay just like that, pormahan, no? Dahil nga
Directed dyan sa directed dyan sa domestic.
Audiences.
Sa domestic nila.
Yes.
Saka yung military nila kasi, yung military nila malakas yung may hawkish
Hawkish.
yung military nila.
Hawkish.
Yes. And but if you talk to the diplomats, yung ibang mga official nila, in fact, they don't even want to be dragged into yung definition of a superpower. Sabi nila,
superpower
luma na yan
competition.
panahon pa, 1901 pa yan. Sabi nila, if you talk to them, ayaw nila yon. Hindi daw sila superpower. They don't wanna be dragged into a Cold War scenario. Hindi daw sila nakikipagkompetensya. Yeah, if
Actually-
you talk to them, consistent sila. Hanggang ngayon, sinasabi nila yan.
yes, tama yung
At saka
sinabi ni...
aminado naman sila na mas malakas sa kanila ngayon, militarily, ang US.
So we're seeing
Yan yung
what
diplomat.
is possibly...
I don't know kung paano yung military magsalita. Kasi hindi ko nakakausap yung mga military officers. Kasi talaga daw napakalakas din ng influence ng military sa Communist Party of China.
Yes.
Yan yung mga naggaganon sa party.
Kung usapin lang ng Taiwan at Philippines, gusto ng military, ng People's Liberation Army na maging more aggressive. Ang problema nila ay may ibang mga players involved. Nandyan ang Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Korea, India, Vietnam, US, even Europe. No?
Okay.
Kaya
Ronald,
nag-hesitate sila.
Ronald, you explain to us what could be possibly the motivation between all these Chinese actions. Itong pormahan na sinasabi mo. Now, on the side of the Philippines, ano naman motivation natin?
Well,
What's our game plan?
Yeah.
Pumoporma rin tayo, di ba? So,
Yeah.
what do we hope to achieve then?
Yeah. Una, dalawa. Yung isa yung sinasabi ni Ami. Nagkikater sila sa kanilang domestic audience. No? Lalo na maraming problema ngayon sa China.
Let's talk about us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about us.
Yeah, papunta ko ron.
Ronald.
Papunta ko ron. Yung kasi una mong tanong Kaya pinuntahan ko lang yung una mong tanong na isang audience dyan ay domestic na sinabi nga ni Ami na maraming problema. No? Ito
That's
yung first,
China.
Yeah,
We're talking
China.
about China.
Ito yung first time na nag-slow down ng kanilang economy.
Yeah.
Ito yung first time na mayroong mga bubble na sumabog sa real estate, sa local banks, etc. So, kailangan ma-divert yan into a nationalism. At itong nationalism ay assertion ng 9 dust lines sa South China Sea
But you know,
at Taiwan.
Ronald, that's not
Yeah.
unique to China. No? Every
Yeah.
time we say that the Chinese economy is tanking,
Yeah.
they're facing a crisis, you could say the same thing about the U.S. economy. But what I'm interested in,
Yeah.
ano naman yung from our end, what is all this pormahan din? Ganun lang din ba?
Well, sa atin kasi mas malaki yung stakes dahil the West Philippine Sea is bigger than our landmass and possibly richer. Mismo ang China inamin na sa ating EEZ, there are hundreds of billions of tons of oil.
Okay,
No?
so
Kaya
what,
yun yung crucial dito.
But that's the end, ano? But
Yeah.
strategically, what do we hope to achieve with all this posturing, with allowing EDCA bases, additional EDCA bases
Well,
in the
iba yung-
Philippines,
iba yung-
allowing this RAA with
Yeah.
Japan and Australia.
Iba yung EDCA tsaka military exercises, no?
Well,
Iba
but it's part of a whole
Hindi,
gamut
pero-
of menu of actions and of
Yes,
moves,
yes.
initiatives. Pero what is the Philippine interest? Yun naman palagi,
Well, dapat-
parang yun ang hindi pinag-uusapan eh.
Well, dapat ang maging interest ng Pilipinas na katulad ng isa-celebrate natin yung UNCLOS bukas, no, ay international law na susuportahan ng malaking bahagi ng mundo. Yun yung pressure mo sa
Nangyayari
China.
na yan. So, but to what end?
Ay, hindi. Nagsisimula pa lang ito.
Di ba nangyayari? Everybody is behind the Philippines on the Hague ruling.
Well, pero ngayon pala...
Except ASEAN.
Yeah. Pero ngayon pala nagsisimula na yung kanilang pag-recognize dito ay nagkakaroon ng tangible support. Dati ay, okay... No,
But what tangible support is
FYI. Well, nagtetrete na yung EU ng mga sanctions sa China.
G7.
No? Yung G7 nagtetrete ng sanctions sa China.
Yes.
Masasaktan ng China ron. Dahil ang vulnerability nila is the economy. No? Yun yung dapat kwan. Not militarily, not militarily, no?
So we also don't want to get into a shooting war.
Definitely, no?
Philippines.
Definitely. Kaya nga sinasabi ko kanina, ang objective nila ay not really a war. Pero
Sorry, bro,
yeah.
kailangan ata maintindihan ano yung objective natin from our end.
Well, ito yung sinasabi ko na yung global support ay mas maging active, pressure sa economy, no? At yun yung sinisimulang
Tayo may
mangyari.
realistic threat
Yeah.
tayo. Pinipigilan yung mga fisherman natin eh. Saka pinipigilan yung mga barko natin to go to within waters that were defined already by an arbitral ruling. Na-define na yun. Under UNCLOS, meron tayong special economic zone, meron tayong maritime entitlement na defined already by the arbitral ruling. Yun yung inaano natin ngayon, ina-assert natin.
Merong sinasabi sila
So in our case, talagang meron talagang threat tayo. Andiyan na sila. Pumunta ka sa Pangasinan, sa Bulinaw, makikita mo na yung construction ng mga Chinese doon sa artificial island nila eh. They're too close to us.
At para dagdagan na yung sinabi ko, no, ang tawag nila dito the Walmart framework. Dati kasi ang Walmart ay 95% dependent sa China in terms of products. Ngayon, yung Walmart nag-diversify papuntang India, papuntang Vietnam, papuntang Thailand, at saka Bangladesh. So, yung sinasabi nila ay kung hindi magbabago yung China in terms of ganong klaseng aggression, not only to the West Philippine Sea and Taiwan, kundi do sa freedom of navigation, ay makaka-expect sila ng more katulad ng Walmart diversification, especially from Europe at saka G7, which will hurt.
Okay.
Saka,
Yeah.
Yes, Ami.
Tsaka ginagawa na rin yan ngayon ng ibang Australia is doing it. And they're talking a lot about it. Merong pati may statement nga yung ambassador ng Australia dito eh. Sabi nila, on the occasion of the anniversary of the arbitral award, they will ensure that they will move to help us promote compliance with the arbitral ruling.
Very dramatic yung sa Australia, Ami. Dahil before dito mga tensions sa South China Sea, ang biggest trading partner ng Australia
Is
is
China.
China.
Ngayon, hindi
Yeah.
na. Ibig sabihin,
Pinarusahan
halimbawa
sila
yan.
eh.
Halimbawa
I don't know the numbers, Ronald,
Yeah,
pero
yeah.
from what I know, the number one market of Australian commodities, minerals, etc., and agricultural products is China.
China.
So they need China
Pero-
economically more than China needs them.
Kaya nga sinasabi ko, bakit dramatic? Dahil nabago. Yeah.
You mean to say China, Australia is selling to somebody else?
Yes, nabago, no?
Yes.
Dahil nga dito sa tension.
Kasi ang
Before the tension,
Australia
It's not
suffers
easy
from
for
economic
one country to
coercion.
find a new
Yes.
market for its products, right? for its export.
Actually, mas tinamaan yung Australia. Pero in fairness sa Australia,
They took the hit.
They took the hit. Take one for the team, no? Dahil sa issue
Yes.
ng international law. Yun yung kaibahan, no?
Hindi, naranasan nga nila yung economic coercion eh. Australia was very mad dahil nung may sinabi lang ang prime minister nila noon, biglang tinigil ng China yung mag-import from Australia ng Australian wine and lobster, some of their biggest. Kaya natuto sila, sabi nila, we have learned that China will use economic coercion and we don't want that to happen again. Kaya nagda-diversify sila. And I think other countries are looking at it as well and moving in the same direction. dahil nga dito.
At ang nakikinabang is India. Yung India ngayon na tumataas economically dahil yung mga umaalis sa kanila pumupunta.
India, whose prime minister just met with, with Russian President Putin and also Xi Jinping.
Yes.
You know, Ronald, when you talk about geopolitics, I think we need to look more at what India is doing because India is able to deal with everybody.
Not everybody. Halimbawa yung India, binibili nila yung oil ng Russia. Pero yung mga nasasaktan ng China sa India dahil sa kanila lumilipat. Yung mga umaalis.
But they also deal with China.
Yes,
Deal with, they sail with Quad, okay?
Yes, pero yung nangyayaring Walmart diversification, ang nakikinabang is India.
Yeah.
Kung titingnan mo yung numbers. Yeah.
Maybe we should look towards that direction more. Anyway, still, Ami and Ronald, still Chinese-related, pero something closer to home. Si Harry Roque, nagpa-interview kaninang umaga sa Ted Filon and DJ Chacha. We have this soundbite.
Kasama po siya sa aking staff sa Malacanang. Ang totoo po niyan, siya po ay isa sa 6 na staff po na ang kanilang item ay executive assistant. Pero nung kinuha po sila talaga nag-handle ng aking social media. Pero nung simula kasi, 3 sila na hinire ko at 3 yung nasa plantilla ng gobyerno at meron pang isang kaibigan nila na hinire ko in my personal capacity para 4 sila. Pero nung papalapit na ang eleksyon, mas nag-focus na talaga itong si Alberto at saka yung kaibigan niya na isa pa bilang EA ko at kumuha pa kami ng 2 tao para sa social media na taga Davao din. So all in all, ang grupo nila ay naging 6, no? Pero nung 6 na sila, 4 nakatutok sa social media at yung 2 naman nakatutok sa akin bilang executive assistant dahil naghahanda na kami, papunta na po kami doon sa eleksyon. At nung ako yung nag-resign na nga po sa Malacanang noong Oktubre ng 2021, no? Dala ko pa rin po yung 6 na yan kasama pa yung mga ibang election workers ko talaga.
Opo. So gaano po katagal nagtrabaho sa inyo bilang executive assistant itong CAR de la Serna?
Okay, sa Malacanang po, simula po nung bumalik ako, April 2021, hanggang ako po'y umalis. Ng April 2021 hanggang umalis po ako nung filing kasi nag-substitution po ako November ata yan of 2021 din. No? Dahil 6 months before, kinakailangan mag-resign ka na. Tapos nanatili po sa akin yan sa eleksyon hanggang March of 2023 kung saan siya ituluyan ng nag-resign. No? Pero bagamat siya po ay nag-resign, paminsan-minsan po, nauutusan pa rin dahil umuwi naman po yan ng kanyang probinsya sa Bohol at nag-iisip ko anong gagawin niya. No? Ang pinagpilian po nga niya, kung siya ay papasok sa isang aviation school or susunod sa yapak ng kanyang lolo na maging abogado sa Sandeda.
Okay. So 2021, wala na po sa inyo itong si AR de la Serna, pero isa sa mga dokumentong nakita dito sa raid dyan sa may Pogo Hub sa Pampanga, yun pong affidavit affidavit of support ng pag-travel nyo po papunta sa ibang bansa. Kasama nga po itong si AR de la Serna. During this time po ba, Secretary, ay dahil hindi na siya nagtatrabaho sa inyo, pagka may mga travel kayo sa ibang bansa, kasama po talaga siya. Ano po ang kwento dito?
Hindi po sa lahat ng pagkakataon. Ang nangyari po kasi, natapos akong natalo sa eleksyon, nagbakasyon kami ni Mrs. sa Laos. Ngayon, matagal na po ako may kondisyon na tinatawag na spinal stenosis, pero hindi po siya umaakto. No? Pero yung trip namin sa Laos noong 2022, matapos ang eleksyon, 3 days po akong na-paralyze sa hospital sa Laos. At actually, si Mrs. lang po ang kasama ko, hirap na hirap siya, pero tinulungan naman siya ng embassy sa Laos dahil from the waist down, na-paralyze po ako. So, ang nangyari po dyan, yung panahon naman yun, noong 2022, nagpasundo pa po kami kay AR at saka doon ilang mga kaibigan sa Thailand. Kasi nga, ayaw naman bayaran ng insurance ko yung either air evacuation or helicopter evacuation. No? So, talagang nagpalagay lang ako ng anesthesia para ako'y makalipad sa Thailand. Pero yung panahon pong yun, nagpasundo din kami dyan kay AR. Parang anak ko po yan. No? Now, ang nangyari naman po, naimbita ako pumunta ng Ukraine. May gera po doon. Ang pagkakamali ko, siguro hindi na ako dapat nagnasa makapunta ng Ukraine. Pero syempre, the thrill of seeing a war zone, no? At lalong-lalo ng pag-uusapan ay kapayapaan, peace talks. No? So ang una pong plano dyan ay yung kaibigan kong Pilipino na nasa Austria, sasamahan ako. nabago naman po ang plano, no, dahil hindi siya po pwedeng makasama ng panahon na yon. Tapos may isa pa akong kaibigan na nagpasama rin sa Milan pagkatapos ng Ukraine, nabago rin ang plano. So ura-urada, dahil ako nagpumilit ng pumunta ng Ukraine, tinawagan ko, pwede ka bang sumama sa Ukraine? Sabi ko, pero Ukraine...
Was Secretary Roque's very lengthy explanation on who A.R. de la Serna is. Anyway, at some point of the interview, parang ito yung mga sinabi niya, nakasulat dyan sa gist natin, sa graphics, parang anak ko na yan.
Yun yung pinakamahalaga.
Sino yung pinakamahal?
Di ba, Ami? Yun yung pinakamahalaga. Ano pa yung sasabihin mo? Parang anak ko yan. Di ba?
So he was trying to explain back the relationship, the closeness na kahit hindi na niya staff member, kasama pa rin niya. At saka kung bakit, I think in that same interview, pinaliwanag kung, kasi nga may mga papeles, mga bank documents na nakita sa Pogo rin sa Porac belonging to Secretary Roque. And,
At balita, may mga joint accounts pa. Balita lang, no?
Well,
kailangan sana makita natin yun.
And this A.R. de la Serna, who is Mr. Supranational, maybe coincidentally, apparently
Coincidental lang yan.
he had dreams of becoming a lawyer, no? In a pilot. Parang doon din nakatira. Doon din tumira sa Pogo.
Kaya nga doon nakita yung mga papeles. No? Pero nagugulat lang ako dahil si former human rights lawyer Harry Roque ay naging dating spokesperson. Ibig sabihin, mundo rin niya yung communication. At alam niya, yung ganitong klaseng mga mahaba na convoluted na paliwanag ay hindi mauunawaan ng sumusubaybay. Lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon na yung absorptive capacity na nanonood ay mga 30 seconds to 1 minute. So, lalo na yung kanyang mahabang paliwanag kay Ted Pailon na kanina, no? Ang daming mga anggulo, ang daming I think he was speaking more like a lawyer than a communicator, no? Yun yung problema.
Maybe Ronald, that is the method, which is also akin to madness. Diba? Ikaw, Ami, what do you make of Secretary Roque's very lengthy explanation?
Hindi ko
Very
masyado
detailed,
sinusundan yan. Pero, if he's talking as a lawyer, well, he is a lawyer. And, at saka medyo he might be facing legal problems because of what's happening nga doon sa investigation ng so he must be thinking like a lawyer at this point. In fact, pati yung reklamo niya sa mga media, that's a legal complaint. Complaint siya ng abogado. Kaya ngayon yung tinatanong ko kahapon kasi alam ko mukhang may implication yon, may legal implication yan we have all these laws na which might get him in trouble for lobbying if that is exactly what he was doing. Kaya nga nililinaw ko kahapon, naglabi ba? Kaya medyo pati si Mr. Tenko ng PAGCOR, medyo lumambot yung testimony He actually did not use that word. Kaya tinatanong ko, kaya ngayon, medyo ingat-ingat tayo lahat dahil merong mga implications every word you say. Hindi pwede yan, hindi yan nakuha sa mga TikTok sa Kailangan gumamit ka talaga ng precise wording dahil nga pwedeng magkaroon ng problema legally.
Okay, but
Yan
Ami,
lang ang
if he wasn't a lawyer for Lucky Star 99.
Kaya yung mga link na yan kay Mr. Supranational na hindi ko kilala, sorry Pati yung mga yan medyo personal yan Kung sakali magkaroon yan ng issue, it has to be something related to mga breaking the law, no? On corruption or graft or
Conflict of interest.
Violation of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards, yung ganyan. Or kung sakasakali, kung IBP, kung may problema sa ganyan, with the legal profession. So,
Okay.
ayan. Pero hindi ko masyadong sinusundan kung sino gusto niya kasama as much
To your point,
problema
Ami,
yan
no? To your point, but it may provide some leads kasi, no, in fairness, Mr. Supranas, it may provide some
Yes.
leads on Secretary Roque's connection with the Porac in
Yes.
Pampanga. I think that's a legitimate public issue, no? If you look at it that way, it's beyond kunyari,
Yes.
his preference on who he wants to be his personal companion. It's not just about
Yes.
that, but the fact that documents belonging to Secretary Roque were found in that Pogo complex
At mukhang doon
shows
nakatira.
that he has links to that Pogo complex.
Yes.
Yes.
While it was legal during the time he interceded, nakiusap on behalf, or lobbied, or whatever word is more appropriate, no? For me, pare-pareho lang yan, Ami, no?
At mukhang ipapatawag si Mr. Supranational sa Senate hearing. That would be
Hindi,
interesting.
meron nga, yan nga istorya natin ngayon, sinabi ni Chis Escudero, kung maaari daw, sumipot si Harry Roque sa Senate para nga malinawan itong mga bagay na to. Yan yung story ngayon. The senators are encouraging him to show up for the investigation, continuing investigation of the POGO para mas malinaw. So siguro, iintayin natin yung I think it will be an even lengthier explanation dahil nga may mga dokumento, and he might have to encourage as well si Mr. Supranational to show up as well para nga dahil nga may nakuha mga papeles. Yan.
I wonder, like Ronald, I asked you this question yesterday. I wonder if it would be more to the advantage of Secretary Roque that he lawyered, he went to PAGCOR as a lawyer, or he went there as a not as a lawyer. Because that raises the question of why did you go there and intercede or nakiusap on behalf of Lucky
Kaya nga
Star?
sinasabi ko na medyo convoluted yung mga paliwanag. Dahil may mga layers ng dito nire-represent niya, dito hindi, dito nire-represent niya, dito hindi. Pumunta siya rito because of this reason, pero hindi yung ganitong reason. So, ang hirap tilad-tila rin yan, especially as a communication strategy. No? Dalawa yung pinag-uusapan natin, yung legal strategy at saka yung communication. No? The best is magtugma yung dalawa. No? Na yung legal strategy mo ay maganda rin yung presentation. Pero at the very least ngayon, medyo magulo yung presentation.
He seems to be over-explaining.
Yes. Kumbaga sa usapan sa kalsada, doon ka na sa pulis magpaliwanag.
May ganong kasabihan. May ganong kasabihan, di ba? Yun, oo. I wonder if we have another... Yeah? Yes,
Medyo
Ami?
mahirap talaga yung issue If you think about it, medyo complicated nga talaga siya. Kaya it will need a rather complicated explanation as well. So abangan na lang natin. Siguro, palagay ko, harap siya sa Senate
On the face of it, kasi naman,
magaling naman siya magsalita
Ami Ronald, on the face of it, it's really hard, I guess, from looking at it from the perspective of Secretary Roque. Mahirap, however he frames it, he is somehow linked to the Pogo in Porac, where subsequently they found the torture chamber, torture videos, and all those documents.
Ang sabi kasi niya, habang nire-represent ko yan,
It was
ay
not
legal pa yan. yun yung thin line. Yun yung malipis na paliwanag.
But in all probability, all those illegal activities may have been happening.
Yes.
Not necessarily to his knowledge. Probably not, di ba? Probably not. Walang comment si...
Siyempre naman, kung alam mo may tinotorture doon, pupunta ka sa pulis,
Oo nga naman.
baka nung narinig niya yung sigaw, akala niya TV lang.
Ang definition ng illegal kasi ng PAGCOR is yung walang lisensya.
Right. At that time, meron. At saka yung upa lang ata pinakiusap. Anyway, Ami, Ronald, thank you for joining the Storicon today. Sorry about that. Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Storicon. I'm Patrick Paez. We are One News, all sides, all the time. This is the Story Conference Group or the Storicon Group.